Now, in the studio with me, he's in Melbourne for various reasons, which we'll explore. The former Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. Good morning.
Neil, lovely to be with you.
Well, thanks for coming. You know the game. You're
Yep.
you're the former Prime Minister. I'm going to ask you about events that are unfolding in the world, and you're going to be concerned that it'll be seen as a criticism of the current government or the existing Prime Minister. So do we get that out of the way? There's nothing here that means any criticism of Malcolm Turnbull.
Absolutely right. And look, my job is to support the government. My job is to support the Prime Minister. My job is to be the best possible member for Ringa, and that's what I'll try to be today.
Okay, well, having said that, the poll shows the government is polling worse than when you were the leader. Any ideas on how to turn that around?
Well, I never commented on polls as party leader myself, and I probably shouldn't start now. I think the government's had a pretty good week. We made a modest but significant move towards budget repair in the Parliament 10 days ago. The Prime Minister's been at the UN showcasing our tough border protection policies, which are the gold standard when it comes to border protection right around the world. The great thing, Neil, is that Australia is the only country in recent times to have successfully handled an illegal migration crisis, and Prime Minister Turnbull has been able to highlight that at the UN over the last few days.
So why the problems? Why are the people not with you?
Well, look, I found a couple of times after very good weeks, the polls didn't seem to reflect that. I remember in April 2014, had an excellent trip to Asia, finalised the Japan-Australia Free Trade Agreement, took giant strides towards the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement. It was a wonderful week for Australian diplomacy, and the polls went down. So these things are a bit of a mystery to all of us. In the end, people should be judged by their performance, not by the polls. The Prime Minister and the government have had a good fortnight.
Well, how does the government improve its performance? You're always looking to improve. What do you do? What do you do?
What we've got to do is try to do our job better all the time. And I suppose that means being ever stronger when it comes to your advocacy, being ever more determined to bring about your fundamental goals of economic security and national security, even where you can't succeed in a difficult Senate getting budget repair measures through. You are constantly talking about the need for budget repair, and I note that Malcolm Turnbull has recently been ratcheting up the arguments on budget repair, and it's absolutely critical that we take those arguments seriously, Neil, because governments in the end are no different from households and businesses. If you live beyond your means, eventually you get into all sorts of trouble.
I guess the problem is it seems the electorate isn't listening, or the message isn't getting through. It's not cutting through. And you were criticised for that as well, that you weren't getting the message through. How do you think now you're sort of viewing it from a different point of view? How do you get the message through?
Government is tough. You've got to know exactly what you want to do. You've got to know exactly why you want to do it. And you've got to be indefatigable in making the case. Now, we can always do better. But I know that as far as the government and the Prime Minister are concerned, it has been a good fortnight. And I think we are lifting the work rate when it comes to getting out there and constantly telling people what we're trying to do.
So do you think it'll turn around? You think the message will get through, the polls will turn around?
Well, again, it's performance that counts. It's performance that counts. The government has won an election. Yes, it was a near-run thing, but it's won an election, and now, as Malcolm keeps saying, we've got to be on about delivery, and over the last fortnight, that's exactly what the government's been doing.